Round of applause for Dr. West here.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. And I love how Dr. Meningas says he has enjoyed watching me grow up here. We're the same age. So I just want to point that out. But I do appreciate his support through the years. I have been involved with InMode since 2019. So to give you a little bit about my background, I was ENT and facial plastics trained. I went on to do a full body cosmetic surgery fellowship. And like a crazy person, I decided to buy a cosmetic surgery practice directly out of training. Since that time, I have fully pivoted my career. I no longer operate. I only do minimally invasive and non-surgical procedures. Like he mentioned, I work 3 days a week from 10 a.m. to 4:30. So you do the math on those hours. And I have a really, really solid work-life balance. The reason I was able to do that is because I leveraged these devices early in my career to elevate my per hour time value. So I'm going to throw this slide up here. This is a slide from the vault. You may be looking at this going, oh my gosh, this is amateur hour PowerPoint here. And it is. Or you may be looking at it and going, holy cow, this is a cluster. And you would be correct. This is a cluster. And this is a visual representation of what my first 2 years in practice looked like. So I'm going to walk you through this because I jokingly tell people I was a practice management worst case scenario, really. But you can implement some of these devices to help overcome hurdles that you may encounter to get you closer to that work-life balance. So I finished my cosmetic surgery training in 2018. At the beginning of 2019, I found out I was pregnant, bought my first home, and bought the practice all within 30 days. Yeah. I found out I was pregnant first. So I was signing my purchase agreement papers. I was completely nauseous. And I wasn't sure if it was because I was pregnant or because I just took on $1 million in debt and had never run a business in my life. So what did I decide to do? I just took on $1 million in debt. I had no working capital. I had a little line of credit that they gave me, but no working capital. I decided that I was going to get into 2 devices within my first 6 months of practice. But I knew that I needed to offer a full portfolio of services to my patients and clients. So my first device was Body Tight, which has now been replaced by Ignite, because I needed that RF tightening, the skin tightening to complement my liposuction procedures at the time. And then because I was pregnant and about to go on maternity leave, I knew I needed a device that would be making me money when I wasn't there. And that's why I got into Evolve. So November of 19, mind you, I bought the practice in March of 19. November of 19, I had my first child. And I took a 2-month maternity leave. And don't worry for some of you that may be thinking, oh my gosh, 2 months is not enough time. I never went back to work full time. So I was home with my kids plenty. I came back from that maternity leave at the beginning of 2020, working to make up for that financial loss of maternity leave. And what happens in 2020? We all know, got hit with COVID. And in the state of Michigan, all non-essential services had a mandatory 2.5-month shutdown. So I was obviously first in line for the PPP loan, right? All that paperwork, that was super fun. So I've got no working capital, debt, I financed 2 devices, had a maternity leave, now I'm shut down for an additional 2.5 months. So I'm almost shut down 5 months within a 6-month period here. And as stressful as that was, that's when the seed was planted. that I actually liked a little bit slower pace. I did not even know I was capable of that. I was the typical gunner, workaholic surgeon at the time. Hence my scale back mentality now. But the seed was planted, and I knew that I enjoyed not being attached to my phone any longer. I enjoyed not having to take call. And that was the time when I reevaluated my life. And I made the very crazy but critical decision to pivot the practice. And I stopped operating. I made the decision to officially stop operating November of 2020. So this is a year and a half after I bought the practice. So now I've done another crazy financial decision. My practice was 80% surgical revenue, and I took that all away. Started implementing these procedures, and then I decided to buy another device. And then I had another baby. So life was crazy. The reason I share this with you is sometimes you feel like you're faced with so many hurdles that the career change is not possible or the next level is not possible, and it certainly is. You just have to be intentional with your decision making. So what does my work-life balance look like these days? They're cute, aren't they? So work, I don't take surgical call, I don't take ER call. I'm in the clinic 3 days a week, 10 o'clock to 4:30. So I'm with my family in the morning, I'm with my family in the evenings. I have a good salary for the time I actually spend working. And I'm building equity in my practice, which is important.